This is DIY News. Stephen Falbat, welcome to DIY News. How are you doing today?
I am exceptionally well.
Well, thank you for coming out here today. You've got some very interesting art projects that you've been doing, and you've been traveling all over the nation with the Gnome Nation. Stephen, why gnomes?
Well, to be honest, I'm really not sure. They come to me like legitimately. I had a thought, and then there was this little guy talking to me, and then I become obsessed with chainsaw carving and making gnomes. Man, they're trapped all over. Like
The gnomes are trapped.
hundreds of years ago, people were trying to steal their hats because of the power they had, and they start hiding in trees. And now they're trapped all over the country, and I hear their voices, man, and so I gotta go get them. And
So you're saving these gnomes,
yeah.
and these gnomes have magical hats.
Well, yeah, and then I find worthy families, to adopt them to, because I can't take care of all of them. They eat so much, man. I mean, it's groceries, food.
So who's adopting these? Who's adopting these gnomes?
People all over the country.
And they accept them also as living creatures, as part of some part of the living world. Is that what I'm to understand?
I hope so.
You hope so. Now, are you picking these people out? Are you just adopting these to anybody?
No.
These guys have to be somebody really good to accept these gnomes?
They have to go through a process of the fee.
An adoption process.
Well, no, just the fee.
The fee. Just the fee. So for a fee, you can adopt one of these gnomes if you are a good family.
If.
So recently, you were at the World Series with a giant gnome. How big is this gnome? It's 10 feet, 11 feet tall?
10 feet.
10 feet tall gnome, and he's dressed as a Royals fan. Is this the first time a gnome has ever been to the World Series?
Yeah, he made history. He's
Well, I saw
world famous.
I saw the interviews in the Kansas City Star and on television.
Yeah.
There were people going crazy over these things. People wanted to see these gnomes. They wanted a gnome for themselves. They wanted to be in pictures with these gnomes. They're just getting crazy. I mean, they're perverse, actually. These people coming up and just taking selfies with gnomes. It's disgusting. I mean.
Can I get a picture of this?
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. Do you want him to take the picture?
Yeah.
Let's take him somewhere. Let's do something with him.
I've been working with a lot of businesses doing commercial art and showing them how they can actually buy my art and how they can pay for it and how I can get them advertising.
Oh gosh, it's pretty fantastic. I mean.
And it's a really simple technique that I come up with, and it basically started with the World Series. The World Series was huge. So I have a giant garden gnome because I get obsessed by the gnomes, and I just, I've always been kind of a KC fan, born and raised up here. I remember when they were in the World Series in '85, and so I come up here with the giant gnome, and it's on ESPN, MLB. I was on MTV out off the bat, I believe is the name of the show. I was interviewed from everywhere from San Francisco to Canada to Texas, written up in from Sporting News to Kansas City Star. My pictures still of that gnome to this day they're next to George Brett. How cool is that? And that's what started so much of my advertising in my business sense, I guess, when it comes to the art. Art is a business, and people are always, I'm a starving artist. Yeah, it's because you're not even, you want to be this person that people depict as an artist instead of being, a people person. So it becomes, I can communicate, and I think that's where a lot of people lack in business in general, is it's all about communication. So for me, I just utilize it as in the arts because I'm obsessively passionate about creating things all the time.
You know what? You kind of look like a gnome.
I think I'm transforming.
I think he looks like a gnome.
Or I always was.
what would your gnome name be? Your name's Stephen Foulback. You are the leader of the Gnome Nation, or the procurer of the Gnome Nation. But what is your gnome name?
The Gnome Dude.
The Gnome Dude.
Gnome Duderini. Mr. Dude. The Gnome Guy.
Have you ever watched The Big Lebowski?
No.
Okay. Well, that's something you should probably check out. If you guys can Google The Big Lebowski and have his picture next to it, I think you're going to find out that there's some similarities there. But the Gnome Dude. The Gnome Dude. I like the Gnome Dude.
Gnome Dude.
We'll go with that. From now on, I'm just going to call you the Gnome Dude.
Gnome Dude. And whether they be gnomes or metal stick figures or rock sculptures or paintings, or there's so many outlets for art. And most people aren't even looking at them, but yet what they don't realize is they're looking at them every day. Like, art is everything. Like, the creation process and the creating things is everywhere. Evolution. So the day 7 thing again?
Yeah, let's do it.
Day 1, I found a log. Day 2, there's something I was supposed to do day 2. Start making the gnome. His hat was formed. Day 3, I couldn't get this all started, and I really don't want to talk about day 3 anymore. Day 4, I started to carve the gnome. And you start seeing it like when I started doing it, and then day 4 is over. So day 5, I created a chick. That's how good I am. Day 6, day 7. Nah, it's all good, dude. Everywhere. That's how you drive them down the road. Billboard signs, you know. I mean, nowadays, they're all computer-generated things. 4 years ago, they were hand-painted, which I was born, my dad actually had a sign shop, and so sign painting is what they did, and so I grew up around a lot of that stuff, and to see it where it's gone today is somewhat sad because you've lost a lot of craftsmen, but art is everywhere, and people take it for granted because of technology. Basically, now everybody can press a button and print off anything they want to print off, where there's still people out here who create it by hand, and, you know, hold video cameras and draw pictures and tattoo and do so many different forms of art, and a lot of it gets lost. I know early on when I was creating rock sculptures and stuff, people would ask me what I cast that out of, and I was like insulted. I'm like, really? I spent hours and hours carving this thing with hammers and chisels, and you're asking me how I cast it. And so that led me to start doing and looking at things differently and seeing that people don't recognize art in the form that the creator does. They look at it in a whole different light, and most people don't even realize this stuff is created. They just look at it and think it was already there, and it was when you walked in the door, but like it still had this whole process of where did it come from and what was it, and it's the process of it for the people who get into it and create. It's the process of making things and designing stuff and coming up with ideas, and me, I enjoy taking it a step further and talking to people one-on-one, and I enjoy taking ideas out of people's heads. I mean, it's just the coolest thing I think I've ever done in my life is to take an idea out of somebody's head and make it come to life. Now, I've had people go, I hate it. You're like, okay, that one hurt. But it doesn't really hurt because I've realized the stuff that some people like, I don't like, and things I like, they don't like. So you have to really talk to them to figure out what you're trying to get from them, to create for them, because if you create it for yourself, then it's ultimately going to be your own style and your own thing, but you've got to create stuff for people and what they want if you do custom work, and I do a lot of custom work. When I'm creating my own thing, I do my own thing, and it's really relaxing and enjoyable to let go. But, you know, if you want to get paid, you have to create stuff for people, and, you know, and a lot of it becomes advertising, a lot of it becomes, you know, this medium here, I love this, you're able to put it out amongst masses of people to watch something that still took creation, still took that creative process, that mindset of just two oddities come together and want to build something in this process anyways. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I was just thinking of the tie downs as bondage. This is 50 Shades of Gnome.
Funny. fantastic. I mean,